Hi guys, welcome back to Nerdy Dad's Debrief, our little podcast that we set up. I'm one of the hosts, which is John, Multiverse Geek Man, and I'm joined with,
Gary Gaz, who's also known as Cosplay Gaz
yeah,
or Cosplay Gaz.
and he's my co-host as well. Most importantly, we're here today to talk about one of the subjects we really love, which is Batman, specifically Batsuits. Ironically, there is a Batsuit in the background there, so you know, cool little feature there. Not necessarily the best Batsuit out there, but one of my favourite Batsuits. And we're going to find out some of Gary's favourite Batsuits, discuss some controversial opinions maybe for some people. Others, it's probably going to be an astounding reassurance that some of these suits really do suck. So, without further ado, I think we knock off the list down a bit more and start off with the suits. What do you reckon, Gary? Should we start with the suits?
Let's get into the meat of it, or the bat of it, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there's a bat in my belfry. Um,
Yeah.
Gary, while you're here on the podcast, because we always like these things to be professionally done, as always. I will list off from the subject of it all, and we'll go from there. So I keep flicking through things at the moment. I'm flicking through different screens. This is a professional podcast, I swear. So our first batsuit is going to be the Lewis Wilson batsuit from 1943. Now, the Lewis Wilson batsuit, when I get an image of it, is I think was the first ever batsuit. Wasn't live action batsuit, if I remember rightly.
I think
Um,
so. You probably know better than I will, to be fair.
so this is the batsuit here, as you can see. So this was worn by Robert Lewis in 1943, and I just think it looks incredible. Like for the 1943, like looks incredibly. There's nothing wrong with this batsuit at all. To be honest with you, Gary, I think we just put it as tier,
Yeah, yeah. It's a great start when you consider what they had to
yeah.
work with back then.
I
It's
don't.
brilliant.
I don't know if it'd be S tier. I think I was being sarcastic. Um,
Sorry, I'm being autistic.
it's fine. It's fine. We're nerdy. We're nerdy. We're nerdy. It's fine. I would have agreed. Like, what's your, what's
Nerds.
your what's your thoughts on it? Like, so if we look at the batsuit and it's in it all its glory, like I I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's the best, but
Yeah, I'll stand by what I said in terms of the like for what it is and what it represents at the time. It's pretty damn good considering what they had available. You can see it's Batman and it represents really well, but today's standards against everything else, of course, it's not going to be top tier. So I think we're giving it. I'm almost like, are we judging this on a level playing field with all the bat suits? We're not giving any like benefits to
I I would
the time
say
and stuff.
for me personally, isolate the batsuit for what it is and make the decision there. Because if you compare to today's modern suits, it's just you can't compare.
Doesn't
It's like
compare.
comparing
Yeah.
a defender versus a striker. They do two different things on the field, and it's all about the time of play where they're at. I don't know why I'm using football analogies. It's because you've been at football today, Gary. That's what it is. So my brain goes football analogies. I know you hate the sport, but it's fine. Um, yes. So I tell you what, I'm not going to make a decision on the first one. I'm not going to make a decision on the first one. I purely don't want to make the decision on the first one. I think if I make the decision, it'll just tip the scales the wrong way. So I'm going to let you make the first decision because I realize you're going to benefit a lot of these things. So I'll let you. Well, the first
It
issue, I think you make the decision. I personally would go for A tier because of its times.
yeah, I think if we are talking about like giving it a bit of a benefit because of its time and what they had, then yeah, if we're looking at it that way, I think it deserves a little bit up the scale, but not completely right at the top.
Yeah, or maybe then we put it B. We put it in middle then. Mid. We go from mid. What do you
Yeah,
reckon?
yeah,
Mid.
that I think that works really well actually. Yeah, B, I think that's a very good middle ground.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, like looking at everything we've compared it to, like it would be lower down unless there'd be an F tier for it. But I think
Yeah.
given the fact that yeah, you can't really do much with it for the time. Um, I think it's still yeah, I don't think it's the worst. Let's be honest, it's not the worst out there for me, in my opinion.
Agreed.
If we're going to introduce the worst, it would have to be. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Gary. I'm going to
Go
have
on.
to split this into two because this is gonna need both our opinion. Um, I think that the next Batsuit is possibly the worst, but I think I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a yeah. I'm gonna have to take a little bit more of an impartial view of it. It's definitely something there, and
It
it's the Robert Lowry 1949 suit.
yeah, it feels like a step backward, unfortunately, considering the first one was a decent suit for its time.
Mm.
Um, the ears particularly get me. I don't understand why their handle. Sorry, um, it just looks a bit off, and it looks like it could
Yeah,
be better because of what they've actually managed to do already.
I,
That's my first thoughts.
I honestly just think it's so lazy, and it's not. It's what it's at least 6 years after this, and the other one was made on the back of the World War II being sort of like finished, and it was a serial. I just think I just don't know what to think if I'm honest. Um, I'll be honest with you. I just don't know what to think. It it really is for me. Just
I
yeah.
think it was the early Batman day, and it might be that because it was a comic book property that had been turned into a film or TV serial, that it just wasn't whoever was making the suit wasn't giving it the respect that we would now. Even though the first one was really, again, decent for its time, I would argue.
Yeah. Should we just get rip the band-aid off this one, put it in the D
Yep,
list?
yep.
I've
Just
just
throw it in
I
there.
have just sent you as well because this is how organised I am. I've just sent you the screenshot on Facebook Messenger of the entire list we're going through. So you can
Oh,
introduce
beautiful.
one.
Thank you.
I'll introduce and you introduce the next one, and I can obviously we can go for that. I think we all know what the next one's coming up.
Yeah, this is an absolute classic. It's iconic. It's the Adam West Batman suit from the '66 series and the movie. Absolutely beautiful suit for its time. Again, this, I mean, in a lot of people's view, this is Batman. I imagine for a lot of the older generation. Um, I can't, I can't give it enough credit for its time. Um, Obviously, I'd say that there's going to be better bat suits, but considering its iconic status, I don't think it's like at the bottom or anything. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's just an automatic S tier.
Yeah.
Just an automatic S tier. I don't think anyone in the world could argue this is not automatic S tier. Uh, R.I.P. to Adam West, obviously, but I think it set the precedence for the standard of TV for comic book serials. And yes, it was campy, and yes, people go, "Oh my god, Batman shouldn't be campy, etc." But if it wasn't for the '66 series, then if you go and watch, there's a documentary on Amazon where there's like it goes through the history of Batman films up to about probably the Dawn of Justice area.
Okay.
Snyderverse, and if I'm honest, it really does pave the way because that inspired one of the guys to sort of buy the rights to Batman to try and take Batman away from the campy era to the Michael Keaton era. I think it just sets the way for it. It just paves the way for it, really, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I think S tier. Much like how the next Batsuit will obviously make history as well. We're about to talk about. I think this one makes history for its own. And for me, yeah, I just think personally that it is possibly one of the most iconic suits out there that you look at it and go, yeah, I know who that is. That's Adam West. And I just think there's almost a respect and appreciation of the two of the two different eras, as the camp era, as most people call it, and the current era, which is obviously dark and broodier Batman. So, but it was respectful of its time. Writer strikes. There was no violent TV violence allowed to be shown for kids' TV. I think, yeah, reflective of its era, and I think it it's cemented in history. It'll always be the most iconic there for a lot of generations there.
And can I just add, the utility belt on that suit, I think was absolutely amazing. Watching the show and just seeing it function, it was
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
wonderful, marvelous thing to like witness. It was great.
Robin, pass me down the shark repellent spray.
Yeah, it was an everything belt. It had everything you needed.
Yeah, I just love it. The only thing that really bothered me with, obviously, in comparison to modern day sort of ideology of Batman, is that the pouch system was like upside down, so the opening was the bottom. The pull it, yeah, I get it drops into his hand, which is ideal, rather than with gloves trying to fit hand into a small pouch. But just the logic of it all, I'm like, that's crazy. I like gas pellets, maybe drop it through there, but yeah. Yeah, I'll let you introduce this one because again, like
Oh yes, of course.
I've introduced the last two, so I think this is only fair to introduce this one.
Thank you. Well, this is quite a departure and brings us into somewhat more modern times. This is, of course, Michael Keaton in Batman 1989. This suit is basically an advancement in the technology. And again, I'm going to keep repeating the word, I think, iconic. It's just such a wonderful transition into what we kind of understand that a Batsuit can be nowadays. And yeah, it's just marvelous, absolutely bloody marvelous. I love the black whole overall suit with the gold belt. It draws your attention to it, and of course the yellow emblem, and just the molded latex with the muscle. It just has this wonderful, simple naturedness to it that just makes it awesome. I just absolutely love it.
That's why he's the goat. He's the goat. Sorry,
I'm Batman.
it's the only way to describe it. Like you say, it's the advance in technology from between the '66 and to here where we are now. It was to reframe how everyone's view of Batman was. It was today. This wasn't made today, superhero movies. I don't care what anyone says. This is fact. Superhero movies would not be what they are today if it wasn't for Batman 1989. It showed that everybody that you can make mass amounts of profit on a superhero film and it be taken seriously. And for his dark tones, I mean, the toy line was extremely incredible as well. Kenner's toy line, not Kenner,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, it was a mix between Kenner and Toy Biz, wasn't it? Yeah, but I think it was
So
Toy
yeah,
Biz.
Toy Biz had it first, and
Yeah,
then Kenneth took over.
yeah. So Ken and obviously Kenner took off the back of it because then they had the Legends of the Dark Knight sort of thing, which was between 1989 and 1992 of the Batman and Batman Returns. But I just personally think it revolutionized the way we viewed comic book movies, or generations viewed comic book movies, and the amount of money it made, millions and millions, really, didn't it? So I just think, for me personally, S tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
No arguments there for
And
myself.
it was a summer blockbuster status film as well. The draw with that film was absolutely amazing at the time. I was around, but I wasn't old enough to feel that. But at the same time, I go back and watch people going to see the film and talking about the film. There's merchandise everywhere that year. You can't really avoid that suit for the 80s. It was absolutely amazing.
No, I completely agree. I think for me, it is S tier. It is S tier because
Absolutely.
just to what it just cemented things down. I guess I'll introduce the next two then. So we're talking 1992 as a follow-up film, feature film, controversial in itself because it was very much considered. I don't think it was a failure. Well, at the time, it wasn't so much a failure, but it wasn't what people were hoping it would be. And it's the 1992 Batman Returns, the film itself. Like we're talking more the Batsuit than we are the films, but sometimes when we talk about the Batsuits, we also talk about the reflection of how it made an impact as well. I still remember watching those kids like, oh my god, there's an attack on kids. This film, and I'm like, fucking nerds. Because we're fucking nerds as well. But like, oh my god, like, but those kids were really popular at school. I really shouldn't say that, but it's fine. It's all good. Either way, right? I still think this is a gorgeous Batsuit. I still think it's that orange sort of esque yellow logo simplified with a golden belt really pops, and I really like the Abs armor system. I believe it's actual Kevlar armor, and it to me just leans into a believability. Do I think it's better than 1989? I personally think it's on par, but I also
Yeah.
know because I love the cowl, but I also know it's not on par with how it concreted in history. So for me, it's kind of like it plays off with how it was really perceived on the big screen. Really, what's your really? I guess your thoughts really. What do you think about it? I personally think A tier would be the best suggestion for it.
I agree. It's like it's almost like a sidestep of the previous suit, but then going in up in its own direction, which it was based off an Oscar. The design was very much of that statuesque sort of look. So it was removing very much like the autonomy and making it more about, like you say, an armor. Um, and I think that, yeah, it's refined. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And for a time, it was my favorite suit. But as time moves on and other things happen, taste changes. And I completely agree. I think it fits nicely in the A tier. Just not as it's on par with the original suit, but it's a bit more divergent that it doesn't necessarily fit into everyone's sort of understanding of Batman. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd absolutely agree with that. For me, I think it's still one of those bat suits I'd love to do today. I know you share the same sentiment as me on that one because I know that's we've both yeah we both have this on the list of to do list sort of thing. I know personally as we're speaking now, I've never done these two suits. So I've never done the Lewis or the Roberts. I've never done the 66 West suit, which I can hand on heart say I'm quite satisfied with that. I don't think I'd pull it off. The 89 Kean, done that one. I nearly did this one. I had the suit parts. I just never completed it. I still have the Jordans in a box over, actually, on the shelf over there. So yeah, as I go through, I'll mention if I've done these or not. But now, this next film, I personally have a soft spot in my heart for this film because I remember, it's a weird. I unlocked a core memory with this film. In 1995, I remember the smell of the popcorn in the air. I remember feeling the buzz and the excitement being a kid going to watch my first live action Batman film because I was too young to go watch, way too young to go watch Returns. And I wasn't born when 1989 came out. And even if I was, I wouldn't have been able to go see it. So I remember going to watch this, and I remember the smell of popcorn in the air, and just like the overall atmosphere, and me taking it was sort of like a wintry. It was a very not winter's night, but very cold, chilly night. My mum was working at a place called Dr. Brown's, which is a pub, which was right next to the Odeon Cinema. I think it was the Odeon Cinema that was in town in Doncaster, on the corner. And I remember just my dad taking me to go see it, and I just remember feeling really excited and buzzed for this. And I just remember walking down Silver Street in in Doncaster. It's such a weird memory, but it sits close to my heart. I've just blagged on about just absolute law talking there, but that's how much it means to me. And it's the 1995 Batman Forever, and it's the Kilmer's Panther suit. I am sorry, this suit gets way too much hate, and I can say with absolute pride, I've worn this suit. I used to have this suit. I still have parts where I have the cowl behind me. So if you actually look behind my head, like there, that is the Kilmer cowl. I have it.
Sweet.
I'm proud. I think it's a great suit. I've just talked way too much there. Where would you place
Yeah.
this suit?
You've just shown us why that's so important to you and why that is so significant. So never apologize for that. I think it's wonderful that that ties so strongly to you and you have a very strong memory of that. Um, uh, well, I know that because of the differences in time, it might be slightly different. I don't hate on the suit at all because I think that it is a product of when it was being made. And yeah, bat nipples and all that, that's fair enough. But again, it's got a basis of something. It's based on, again, statues. It's based on those kind of Olympic Greek-like statues. And that's the idea behind that bat suit. There's nothing more to it. But yeah, they are works of art. They are again, an advancement on what's already come, and it returns back to the autonomy, and it's very sleek and well designed. Um, I would personally, I know that you're going to want to put it in the S.
I am happy to compromise based on, because these conversations are also debates. You know, we can
Fair
we
dues.
can debate this whether or not it deserves to go in S tier or A tier or B tier. Look, I'm happy to debate. This is why we're here. Like, we're here to talk about our opinions and feelings on it. And sometimes there will have to be a compromise, because I might think it's A tier and you go, no, I think it's C tier. So we have to compromise to a B tier. I'm happy to do that. I want to know your
Fair
thoughts and
dues.
feelings to it. Like, what's your connection with the suit? What's your love for the suit?
Because because I'm a little bit older, I'd kind of already
Only a little
fallen
bit.
in love with the '89 suit. A
No,
little.
but I will say the Forever Panther suit feels like a taken next level of the '89 suit, and that's what's drawing me
Yeah.
away from the
It,
'89 suit at
it
all.
it's kind of funny because if I had to sort of look at the previous, like the '89 through to, because it's '95, wasn't it, that Forever came out?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I'd say that on the scale of things, it would be better than the Returns, just because it returns again to that autonomy, um, and it's nice and sleek. So
I'm
it kind of
I'm
encompasses a bit of Returns.
I am happy to compromise as an A tier for me. It it's
You
more
sure?
it's more the film, I think, that draws the comfort for it. For me, it's an A tier. I think it's so underrated, and people go, "Oh, bat nipples." It's like, fucking it. We've had a lot worse since then. Jeez, and
Yes.
we haven't even hit the worst yet. Not even hit the worst yet. So for
To come.
me personally, I think that's not the worst. The next suit I'm going to introduce, again, would be from the same film, and that would be the sonar suit. And again, I've just noticed as well. So, this is why you spot check your costume when you're costume spot checking. That belt is way too low. That belt's meant to be slightly higher there. So this bit here is supposed to be covered by the belt. So the fact that it's dropped down there means whoever done the costume there, yeah, the costume assistants, slapping,
Dare,
slap them,
dare.
slap them. Me personally, I like it because it was very much reflective at the time. I have a heart for it, but as I've got older, I'd love to do the sonar suit as a thing, but for me personally, I would say B tier, because it's not terrible, but it's not great. It's just, it is a suit that featured. It made sense of the story, um, and yeah, it just had some cool gadgets where, like, obviously fires out from the wrists, and like it looked like it really was like the prototype suit, the sonar suit, like, and obviously it has like the eyes that come down. That's pretty cool. And in my shelf over there on the top shelf is the sonar suit Batsuit as well. There, Hot Toys, please make a panther version. Honestly, no one makes the panthers. Um, yeah, they're the two ones introduced that I've got, and I know what's coming next as well. I know what's coming next, Gary. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's coming. I know what's coming next. Go on,
Oh.
you great pleasure. You get to introduce this quality film.
Well, in 1997, on the hype of the Batman Forever train, George Clooney filled in the cowl beyond Val Kilmer, and that was in Batman and Robin. The Batman and Robin suit um, was sort of a bluish color, and even though
Yeah,
I'm colorblind, I could see that as well.
yeah. It's
um,
it's it's not great, is it? It's not great. It's not great.
it took a lot of the aesthetics from the Panther suit. Me personally, because I know that you're very good with the detail, I can't see massive difference. I think I can only see a
Okay,
significance in the cowl.
okay.
Um,
I can certainly deliver my. Let me just stretch my fingers. So I'm just gonna exercise it. There we go. Um, for me, there's noticeable the nipple pattern is slightly different. There's an inner circle, whereas the original didn't have an inner circle. The emblem obviously is a massive change. They added these buckle system in the way that the cape goes in. The cowl is slightly different because they had to resculpt a new cowl for Clooney, which meant the ears were slightly wide. You'll notice as well. The fins on the gloves are different. They're not spikes; they are one fin, which is very similar to the sonar suit. Almost like they took the sonar suit glove and just put it there because they also have firing from the wrist as well during one scene. The belt is the sonar belt. It's literally the sonar belt, blued. And the cod piece is slightly different as well. There's like almost like a V section for it, which again is very similar to the sonar. It's almost like they sliced down bits from the sonar, chucked onto this, including like the cape pins almost like there, and then created this. And I'll be honest with you, like I think the film today, like in today's standards, yes, it's probably not great. I still think it has a special place in the world because, in my personal belief, it was a very good reflection of. It's almost like a modernization of the 60s film for the 90s. I think it was great there.
Yeah.
There's aspects there. Obviously, it was a toy commercial movie, as we all know. I personally, I don't think it was a shit costume because we know what shit ones are, but I don't think it was a great one, and I don't think it's B tier. I would say our first C tier, if I'm honest, was where I feel it needs to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, the film itself, as much as it's not too much about the film, it did hit like a 60 seal, which was fun. Unfortunately, it did mean the demise of Batman for a short while in film history.
Yeah, but it came back. To be honest with you, we almost had Triumph at one stage as well, which would have been in for 99, so that would come out in 99 had they gone aboard. And that was supposed to take a darker tone again, but yeah, I don't think losing Batman was looking what we are now. I think they made the right decisions.
And thank you for the explainer on the suit, by the way. It's good to know that it was like a bit of an amalgamation of the Sonar suit and the Panther.
I skimmed a little bit there. That's my tism. I noticed it. So
it's great.
Years and years of like costuming it and being obsessed with like the Batman and stuff. This research, how they made certain suits, what they did on certain suits, how they did amalgamate them. I used to love watching extras and special features on DVDs all the time. Like even going back now and showing Natalie some of them as well reminds me because Natalie's like, okay, I know Batman, I know bits of it there, everywhere. I'm like, okay, but did you know this? Did you know that? And she's like, yes, John, I did not know that. Thank you. It tells you. She doesn't have that energy. She's like really excited to learn about these things because she's a costumer as well, obviously, and enjoys making costumes. But sometimes in my own head, I project it as like, John, this is not a TED talk. This is your girlfriend. Fiance. I get it. I'm like, oh my god, Batman! This is why when we have Batman conversations, I'm trying to cut myself down, otherwise I could be talking for an hour just on one suit. Anyway,
I'll set you off.
Shall we move to the next suit before I stim anymore?
By all means. Am I doing this or you?
There's one more suit in the Batman. We're doing film.
Oh, yes, there is. There's. God. Okay.
I really don't.
Sonar -1, I'm going to call it. Sorry, I'm terrible. So, this is the ice suit from Batman and Robin. It's basically the Sonar suit, but with silver parts covering certain sections and a bit of a recolor. Oh, not to mention a funny ice sort of extra, like the belts, not even a utility belt really. It's just a design. It just made what was kind of an acceptable suit not acceptable in my opinion.
It is so bad. Like it is just like. I just want to scream internally. It is just like there's no way anyone can look at that suit and go, "That's a gorgeous suit." Like I'm sorry, I know it sounds awful, but I just can't. I don't know if you can see what I brought on screen here. It just does not look good at all. Like I had to bring this photo because it just reminded me of this photo. This just like. Let me just zoom in. Wait, Robin, I left the stove on. You wait, what? You left the stove on? Alfred's asleep in the front room. Oh yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just such a meme. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I know that's mean.
It's memeable. It's so memeable. And I'm glad you found it. It's amazing.
Bad. It is just so bad. I've just accidentally just covered us up on the oh god, I've made a mess of the stream now.
It's all right. It's all right. We're still here.
There we go. This is what happens when you try and juggle with things about real. Like my
You're
stream
doing a
deck.
great job,
My
mate.
stream deck is not working right now, so I'm flicking between things. It's just not going well. But that was the image I sent Gary the other day, and yeah, it just honestly like.
It's
Oh
great.
god,
It's great
terrible.
discovery.
I've got no problems in putting this in the D list. Honestly,
Yep. Kill it now.
like
Put it out of its
just
misery.
the unnecessary covering decent detail parts in the sonar suit, like the abs, individual actions, were just these strips. So I know what we'll do. We'll just cheapen the production. No, why? Oh, anyway,
It's so sad.
it sold more toys. It sold more toys.
Yeah, it did, I
Gary,
suppose.
with absolute pleasure, you can introduce the next one, and then I'll introduce the next two after that.
Now we have a rather interesting one here because I don't think many people will be entirely aware of this, not unless you're part of the Batman suit community. In 2000 through to 2002, there was actually a string of commercials for OnStar, I think it's Communications, and they actually had the rights to use Batman within their adverts. And they introduced a new suit to us, kind of. But yeah, it's the OnStar Batsuit.
Yep, it is the OnStar Batsuit, which is basically, yeah, it's a black version of the Clooney suit with a color change on there. Instead of it just being full blue, it's black with the yellow background. They kept the belt black and everything there. It is the Clooney suit. The cowl, I believe, is a Kilmer style suit because I had to almost remodel it again. So it's Kilmer-esque. You can tell why it's sleeker there with the sleeker ears, but they did keep the buckles that are on around the collar there. I haven't really got them greatly in there, but I think personally that as a suit, it wasn't. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think anything to rave about. I would personally put it probably. I don't want to go on it too long, but should we say C?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of already been.
It looked really good on screen, and the guy who played Batman on the OnStar was actually not too bad. He had the look for it on the jaw and the mouthpiece. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He probably did a better job than Clooney to a degree, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to call that a semi one. I'm going to let you you introduce the next one as well, because I think again this is a lot of these things have personal attachment, and I think you definitely have a personal attachment to the next one as well.
Bless you. So yeah, because of the slight hiatus with the Batman franchise, they came back hitting hard, I would say, with what not an intended trilogy, but it certainly became one. Batman Begins in 2005. We were introduced to Christian Bale donning the Batsuit. This particular film introduced. Can't really say a reality-based Batman because they're all far-fetched in their own way. But Christopher Nolan, who was the director, very much wanted to sort of give it a grounding in reality. And yeah, we had the Begin suit. I admittedly am a fan. This isn't my favourite of the two suits, but we'll get, of course, onto that in the next part. But I really like the suit. I like how in the film it's explained that the suit has function. Like everything has a reason for being. And when you look at it and then understand that, it kind of helps almost gratify the reason that the suit exists. Because previously, with all the bat suits that we've had behind this, they've kind of been there because he's Batman. But this felt like there was logic and reason behind his function, let alone the fact that he was Batman. I also love the general design and how it looks, and yeah, just how it all came to be. I think a lot of it, admittedly, is plot driven for me, and I've tismed too much.
No. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. Because if anyone's going to talk about Bale here, it'll be you. Because I still controversially think Bale was brilliant and amazing in Batman Begins, but was overshadowed in the other films. But I'll get onto those in a bit. For me, I remember when they were talking about the design of the suit for Batman Begins special features. They were talking about a long panther's neck, how it goes up, and that's how I remember it. And I remember them seeing them brushing around the velvet cape. And I really liked the Batman Begins suit, and I liked that it featured in the beginning of the Dark Knight as well. And they didn't just go, okay, drop the suit, it's a new suit, sell toys sort of thing. They certainly gave a narrative, obviously for his turning neck later on. But you know, he could turn his neck to a degree in it, but it was still restricted. He couldn't turn much more than that. Obviously, he didn't need the back turn as much. I just liked it because it just looked monstrous. It just looked huge. You know, it just looked like a guy that would just really go out there and really brawl and it, like that picture where he's like just got his arms up like that, ready to brawl. For me, just what Batman should be is a bit of a brawler when he needs to be, but also sleek and carries himself in a very majestic way, which is what he did when he had his arms dropped down quite a lot. So, for me personally, I'd say A.
Yeah, I'd be happy with A. Yeah, not the best suit, but certainly sort of scores high. Obviously, for me being biased, but yeah, I'm happy with A.
Yeah, I think for me um it yeah yeah. I think my opinions will probably project into the next opinion. I'll let you introduce the next one because, again, this is very much your stim. I'm gonna
This
let
is
you
going to be a fun one, I can tell
and
already.
then and then I'll go to the next. I'll do the next. How many is there? Three after that, I think. It's 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'll do the next. Oh God, no! I just realised what I need to do. I'll do the next two, then you do the next two, and then I'll do the next. I'll do the next one, and then we'll share the last one, the last two even.
Okay, fair dues.
Yeah.
So I'm doing next two, yeah.
Yeah, you do the next one, and then I'll do the next
Next
two,
one,
and then you.
right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So on the heels of Batman Begins, they actually continued with unsuspecting sequel with The Dark Knight,
Well, two
and
sequels
of
really.
course, well, yeah, because Dark Knight Rises happened also. These were never planned, and I think that's like credit to the film. But nonetheless, about the suit, yep, Christian Bale reprised Bruce Wayne Batman, and came back, but also with the new suit, which came, as John just mentioned, a bit later on in the film. And yeah, this is basically the Dark Knight suit. Um, I call it motorcycle helmet special because essentially it was a reason to redo the suit, but they gave him an yeah, very much Christopher Nolan said that they were going to give him a reason to turn his head, and they literally used the real reason in the film. And I've got I'm very fond of the suit. I think it's just because of how different it is from the previous suits that we've had. Um, because of where I was in my life at this stage when this film came out, having this happen during my cosplay journey, this was something that I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. I want to wear it. And I love the idea of a batsuit actually being able to turn its head. As weird as that sounds, I
No,
think,
no,
yeah,
it's wearing cows on a regular basis. So yeah, I certainly sympathise in that. Yeah,
yeah,
it was an interesting feature for me for the time. I didn't mind the suit. I don't hate the suit. I know there's this thing I jokingly say. Like I don't think it's the best out there for me personally. When I think of Batman comics, this is not how I would picture my Batman.
nah,
I'd say it was unique for the time. The film it gets so much love now today because of how successful The Dark Knight was. I would say controversially, The Dark Knight
yeah.
Rises wasn't that great. We're not going to get into it. We'll do film critic one day. But I really, really am not a massive fan of The Dark Knight Rises. As a blockbuster film, amazing. As a Batman film, terrible. Um, but The Dark Knight, it was a great film. I remember the hype when it came out in 2008. I know it came out the same year as Iron Man. We almost ended up with a tie-in game with it, which ended up obviously being cancelled and rebuilt into
I've
the
just
Arkham
realised.
Asylum.
Sorry to interject, but this was kind of a reason for our friendship starting.
It was. It was. This is it.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
remembered.
yeah. I was actually going to lead on to that, and that was the next bit.
Oh, fair play. Carry on.
No, it's fine. So there was an old run board forum called Brotherhood of the Bat back in 2010. Me and Gary first spoke to each other online, and Gary was casting and making the suit, and I was curious to actually just get one, just to see what it'd be like wearing it. And I never did anything with it in the end because I was just too lazy and unmotivated. And 2010, my daughter was born as
It
well,
was
so a lot of
terrible.
things taken over. So, but
It
on
was a
it,
terrible
no, it
suit.
wasn't. No, it wasn't terrible. I tell you now, I've seen some maker stuff. That was 2010. You were just learning as well. It holds
Yeah.
merit against some of those. So, um, look, I think it's a great suit. I don't want to talk about it much longer for me personally because I don't think there's anywhere else we can go with it other than like that. I will let you choose the section. I will give you one free section choice. Right, you can use it on this
Thank you.
suit or on another suit. I will give you one free life on this suit. You can put it anywhere in the table you want, and I get to do it with one suit as well later on.
Fair enough. This is the special suit. I'd put it in S.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say S tier.
You knew I was gonna.
It's fine. Um, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm gonna wrap that talking about that anymore. I think for me personally, I think yeah, I seeing that. I think for me more than else is seeing the light in your eyes with when talking about it. I think that's the bit that I really like about it, Gary, and the way it obviously affects you as a person as well, and how it's had a positive impact on you. I think that's a thing to be considered as well, and I think overall, Gary, like we just look at yourself, look at you smiling. I can see he's just so happy he's got it in the S tier.
I just
I just want to
like
give
the
him a hand.
idea of that. If basically, if you gave me unlimited money, or just said pick a bat suit and that will be yours, it would have to be that one. I don't. I think it's just. Admittedly, a lot of the cinematography in that film really catches me, and that's where I'm weak. But and I know that
No,
it's not like how can I say this? It's not the best representation of Batman. If anything, I think the potentially the next one we're about to chat about probably arguably is. But I
well,
think it's just the realistic side of if I wanted a suit, which one would I choose? So I think that's why it levels with me so well, and also I love the films. But yeah, sorry, I've pismed. I've finished.
no, it's good to have these conversations. I think that chatting about these situations here it gives an insight to your brain, really, Gary, and it gives an insight to like show everyone else, like this is where this is what it stems from. This is your love and why you love it so much. I think honestly, I think it's glorious to sort of hear. But for me, I think the next suit needs to be introduced now. This was a game changer. So many of you know in 2016, Zack Snyder was then hired as the director to essentially look after the franchises of DC. What he would do it to be his almost like his Lord of the Rings equivalent. Most people think it was an expanded universe, the DCEU. However, in his brain originally, he wanted to see this as a part of a storyline that had a start and a finish, as opposed to the MCU. That's controversial in itself, but most people don't realize that. However, this has to be one of the, for me personally, one of the best on-screen Batsuits. Now, as an on-screen Batman, I think Ben Affleck was fantastic to a degree. He had a love and passion for the character. Characteristics-wise, openly killing people. It never sat right with me for a while, but I defended it because it was the only variation we've got. And I mean, this suit was a masterpiece. Ironhead Studios did such a great job in 2016 of making the suit. And I just think the muscle sculpture, the scowl, everybody loves, and I took a shot from the warehouse scene because Owen dubs it the Arkham fight. Had he killed so many people, I would say it'd be a perfect translation of it. But it is the closest iteration to an Arkham fight we've got to a degree, and the look combined. I will come on the conversation of combat later on because there is the Batman 2022, which I would argue has elements of that as well. But as an overall, just look at that there. Like if you were to picture Jim Lee's sort of drawing of Batman in sort of live action, this would be very not far from it for me personally. I would say again, this revolutionised the way we saw Batsuits and how Batsuits were made. And to be honest with you, it went to inspire a lot of people to make the suit because it looked jaw dropping. So for me personally, I'd say S tier.
I completely agree. I think it's such a wonderful translation to a comic book suit that it's just magnificent. I loved it when it came out. I can't get over also the technology of the cowl because they actually worked very hard to make the head turning in that particular cowl work seamlessly, for lack of a better word. So there was a lot of concentration on just making sure the suit functioned in a way that was practical but looked awesome.
Yeah, I just the whole. I still have elements of the suit now, and I don't have the suit anymore, and I've worn iterations and stuff, and I think at some point when we've done the Batsuit conversation and stuff, I think for me personally, I think we go back to cosplays that we've done. I think we can talk about that. It'd be great. And I've done three versions of like or two and a half, three versions of the outfit from 2016, and I've loved every one I've done. Would I go back and do it? Probably not now. I've done it more than enough times. But yeah, it's a cool suit, and it's inspired loads of people. How people have approached modern batsuits now when they make their own cosplays, like the sculpted muscles and sort of glue that into the fabric now. So for me personally, I think yeah, it's S tier without argument really. There's enough Affleck shoots there for us to shit on in a minute. um, Obviously, we have a Part 2 suit, which was the armor suit here. The armor suit for me, it was good. It was good. It did what it needed to do. It was a reflection of almost the Dark Knight Returns. For me personally, I don't think it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't fantastic for me. I'd probably say a B. It
Yeah,
added to the narrative. It did what it looked. It looked cool as fuck, but and obviously it's not meant to look like a batsuit as such. I still class it as an armor, but yeah, for me personally, I think it's in the right tier there. I don't think there's much really for me to expand on really, um, other than to introduce the next one, which is we're talking now. We're moving into the sequel film, which was in 2017 originally, and then was re-released in 2021 with Zack Snyder's cut. Joss Whedon, we were not going to give him much time or place because of his the allegations and everything that came out. However, we will talk about the new suit that it did for Dawn on there, which did have a cool opening scene in the 2017 version that didn't translate over into the 2021 version, which we would have seen more on screen of this version, which was again they took I can't remember the studio that took over. It wasn't I Head Studios that took on the 2017 version. We had a slightly modified version of 2016's. Now, for me personally, the cover arms here, yeah, they were all right. The belts was slightly different because you'll notice the pockets aren't as high on certain bits there. They've added plates here and there, which I think gives it a bit of a new 52 element to it. The emblem's slightly different. The cowl was different. The boots weren't different. They kept the boots. The cape style was pretty much the same. The suit itself, on the face of it, was pretty much the same, bar a few things. I think for me, it was a good suit. It was a good suit. I think because we had such an S tier and the slight amalgamations and the cowl look. I mean, I've done that suit as well. I've done that suit. I've worn the suit. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I'm personally I'm more than happy to compromise the decision of where it goes to a B again for me. I think a B big. Actually, no.
I agree.
I tell you what, we'll give it some love. And this is not for me. It's
Go
just
on
for
then.
other people. People will go, oh yeah, but that's a bit harsh. Drops down there for an A tier. I think B might be a bit too harsh. I think A. We'll give it an A.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if we didn't get the Dawn of Justice suit and it was the Justice League suit, how much? I know I'm sort of throwing in a curveball here. How much would we have loved that suit compared to anything else if that was given the situation?
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. Um, yeah, it for me it was. I don't know. I just wasn't blown away with it as much as I was the Dawn of Justice.
Yeah,
Um, But yeah, in the 2017, we also got the secondary suit as well, which was the armor plate one. Fun fact from my understanding when I was looking into this suit, that this suit is a Dawn of Justice bodysuit underneath, and they just mounted the armor on top. So I think it was a previous suit there for flexibility and movement. Yeah, they had more. It had a center zip there as well, from my understanding. I think the belt is a Dawn of Justice one as well. Again, it wouldn't be surprised that they just cobbled shit together and just put it over the top, and they built the plates for it. Obviously, the cowl is very much in line with the Justice League's cowl that was of their befitting of it, and then they had the goggles. For me, I've prattled on with the last one. What's your interpretation of this one, Gary?
I think it's a fun suit. It's nice change in direction, and it's something fresh because it's adding armor plates to an existing bat suit. And also, I didn't know the fact it was a Dawn of Justice suit underneath there. That's cool. Um, Uh, it's sort of balancing between A and B for me. I'm not entirely sure which way I would sort of pro that. Um, I like it, and I was tempted at one point to cosplay it. So
Yeah, I think it's an easy one because in theory you can pretty much just build the armor out of foam and then just get a bodysuit and then just maybe put a bit of muscle suit under there. In theory, it's an easy one to build. Um, it just really reminds me, and this is really bad, Watchman's Almond. It really does.
yes,
Just
yes,
night. Sorry, night.
likewise.
Not Almond, Night Owl. Sorry.
And but I knew exactly what you meant. Yeah, the goggles.
Yeah. So
It gives that look.
again, I'm going to put it with the B tier next to one. I think it's only
Sure.
fair. Um, and yeah, I think we can close that chapter on that one. Gary, I'm gonna let you introduce the next two. I'm sure you're excited to talk about these two. Um,
Can I swear in this?
yeah, I've swore a couple of times, and honestly,
Okay, I'm just gonna.
I don't think anyone in their in them darkest of dreams is gonna be offended by you swearing at this. Um,
I can't think of a better thing to say now, except to quote Dick Grayson in Titan, "Fuck Batman," because you have the Titan Bat.
oh God.
My worry was for a second there. Oh, there was two of them, and it's the same person twice. Oh dear. This is one of those examples of a suit that was made not to be seen. And I'm pretty sure I own that cowl. I'm pretty sure that's one of those joke shop ones that they got
Yeah, no,
all done up.
it was a recasted cowl because it caused some stir on the market. It was a recasted
Uh,
child's cowl. That's why the ears are really screwed. I mean,
oh dear.
I I just I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. It's a piece of
D.
shit.
D.
I feel
Kill it
bad that
now.
these two have to share that with it. I mean, is there a way of us? Add a new tier. There we
Can
go.
we?
Oh,
I'm.
we
Ah,
can.
there you go.
There we go. F
Brilliant.
tier. That's going in the F tier. That is going in the. That is going in the F tier. I didn't realize we had added a tier. We've added a tier, guys. That's how shit that batsuit is. There's no more need to be said on that batsuit. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's get it out. No more needs to be said on that piece
Oh
of
dear.
shit. Gary, have you got any more thoughts on it?
No. Kill it now.
Piece of shit, isn't
It
it?
was good for being a silhouette suit, and that's all I'll say. I wish they never. It's kind of not to divert too much. I wish Titans had left Batman alone. If they hadn't have like mentioned him,
Or a
maybe.
goddamn silhouette, like do what Teen Titans did. Just a
Yeah,
damn silhouette, like the whole Conroy thing, like just a damn silhouette of Batman. I just you. I mean, they did try and do silhouettes, but they did like a fight bit. Just yeah, yes, I get that
yeah.
Robin's in Batman's shadow. He always feels like, and yeah. Let's just move on to the next one. Let's get this one over and done with.
Fair dues. Okay, so the next one again, it's a controversial suit. I think it's a bit but a bit more well liked because this one actually appeared on screen. This is the Gotham series Batsuit, which I also like to call pizza cutter suit. The pizza cutter ab. Um, yeah, that cow
I
looks like it could do some work.
I always look at the boots and remind me kind of like the Jedi inspired boots with a bit of whatever it's going off there. This feels very much like let's find somewhere between Arkham Origins and the Dark Knight and let's dial it down to 8-bit grade against PS5 graphics. Um, and then it's like, oh, I take inspiration from Robin's chest, but also if someone stabs
Never
me
noticed that.
here, I'm going to die. Um, I again, piece of shit in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Kill it now.
Piece of shit. Like, yeah.
Kill it
I
now.
mean, I mean, you could put that. I would. Do you know what? We'll put. No. Do you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. No, let's not. Let's not even associate it with that kind of crap. Let's not even associate with that. Gary, can we move on? Do you reckon? Do you reckon
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can move on?
Please kill it now.
I never want to
Oh,
talk about those again. It only makes sense for me to introduce this one, and then what we'll do is we'll split the next film into two, because I think that'll be
sure.
really good. a way to
Yeah.
sort of introduce it. I'll do the first Batsuit, and then you do the second Batsuit. Um, but this personally is one of my favorite on-screen Batsuits. Now, a lot of people will turn around and go, "Yeah, but it doesn't look like a Batsuit." You look at Ben Affleck's that came before, and then you got this one. It's like, no, you're comparing to the Dawn of Justice Batsuit that came before that, not this one. It was not a direct and afterwards, especially when you've just looked the last two. For me, this tells a story. This is end of year one, year two sort of Batsuit, and I have spent hours and hours and hours in 2021 looking over loads of images, and we made our first undersuit, which one or two makers cheekily well, not cheekily, but took inspiration from the pattern that me and Nat made, and
Oh,
it ended up sort of being used there, which I don't mind because, like, I mean, if I flick to
pioneers.
go screen there, like, look at that there. Look at that beauty
Mm,
there.
sweet.
That is beautiful there. I have. This is like the third version of me parting stuff together. Because the thing as well, what I do with some batsuits is I'll get one bit from one maker, one bit from another maker. People will just go to all the same maker, and that's fine if you want to do that. It's absolutely great. For me personally, certain makers do really good jobs on one thing, and then others do better on others. I'm not saying people are terrible in that. I just like to cobble things together, and then I know people go, "Oh yeah, there's discoloration." Like, that's where airbrushing, painting, dyeing, and dirting works wonders. Just a bit of time, and the coloration of the suit as well is the most, like, yeah. I don't want to describe this too much. It's too much. I don't want to do a disservice to it. Um, but I just think it's one of the most beautiful bat suits on the big screen, because it tells a very grounded story that could also be not grounded. Whereas, like, you created this modern but also advanced technology that lives in a realism world of Christopher Nolan. This is again sort of a basic technology meets a little bit of advance, meets mystery of the light of the world, where it could be fantastical as well. And that's just the film itself. I've just stimmed a little bit there. So take over, Gary, as well. What's your thoughts on the Batsuit, I think?
I think it's amazing that you put your spin on it. Yeah, I think it is a product of what it is made for. That film is a very gritty rendition of Batman. It introduced a brand new Gotham to us, and alongside it, a new Batman. I think whilst the suit isn't traditionally what we're used to, it is very good at showing us, like say, year one, year two Batman putting together a suit that is functional and does what it needs to do. And to be fair, if I just think back to my first introduction to this suit, it was that trailer where he's walking up to those thugs, and one of them says, "What the hell are you supposed to be?" And then he unleashes, and that sticks in my mind. And I see that batsuit every time I think about that. I think it's a wonderful piece of art for what it's worth.
I love the when he walks up to to Penguin when the car's flipped upside down, and you see the shot, and you hear the walking, and hits the rain.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's just Austrian military boots, but it's just, yeah, it just adds, the body suit just adds it, and the fight on the rafters as well. We were talking about Arkham combats earlier on. I think it was great because it was practical looking, it was effective, it did everything. And when he took a blast, the shotgun to the thing, it winded him and knocked him too, and that's why I need the stick of adrenaline. People, there was a theory going around it was venom. I was like, no, it's adrenaline. Yeah, but it's green. I was like, yeah, but you can get adrenaline liquid as green as well. And I remember showing someone an actual chemical compounds breakdown of what actually makes it green, and by getting online. So yeah, I am going to say that I'm imprinting this as my S tier. Just saying,
They do.
It's my S tier. Ironically, we've got one from the '60s, one from the '90s, one from the early 2000s, one from the mid sort of like your between your tens and your 20s, and then you got from your 20s onwards. I think the next film I'll let you introduce, Gary, and I'll actually no, I'll introduce because I've got the first suit. So I think for me,
Oh yeah, yeah.
possibly again. See, this suit gets shit because it deserves shit, right? In in
What?
I think
Sorry.
when you're in 2023 and you release this batsuit on the big screen, when you've had what you've had before, like, yes, I get that he's in a motorcycle thing, but like, what the fuck is this? I don't care. I swore. What is this piece of shit? The cow looks awful. That looks like a cow that was an early production that they've gone, oh yeah, this will fit. The suit looks awful. They've added the armor panels to a bodysuit that doesn't make sense. The belt's weird. Personally, me, I just think it's a piece of shit. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's so sad. There was a perfect. Do you know what?
I'm putting it
I
in F. I'm putting it in F now, Gary. I don't care.
kill it now. Kill
It's
it
going in
now.
F. It's going in F. Like it almost is. It's on. It just the armor plating's logic is just almost like that one, the Titans one, just on the chest. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Do,
Like,
I would have been happy if they used the Dawn of Justice suit or they used the Justice League first suit. If they'd just done that, it would have been absolutely fine in my opinion. But no, they had to go and spoil it.
do you know
Kill
what
it
it
now.
reminds me of the armor piece that runs across the section in there? There's almost like this hexagons like arm support type things I've seen people have where they have printed casts. It reminds me of that, and I'm like, it just doesn't have any practicality in my opinion. I also remember him just
Yeah.
grappling as well on the to the back of the thing and flipping through on the bridge, but like it doesn't make sense how grapple goes through. People like bust on the Last Jedi's logic when they have the combat move. It had the same thing. I just yeah. Gary, move on to the next suit, please. Please just save me. The next suit, honestly, it needs to be talked about. I think from you.
So this wonderful suit, well, that's up for discussion. But this suit is the Michael Keaton Flash Batsuit. So this is when the timeline is affected and it creates this alternate universe where Michael Keaton is Batman again. And yeah, they updated and given him a new suit. I originally didn't like the look of the suit, but it grew on me. Um, I like how it's almost like, well, it is. They've taken what Keaton was wearing, and it's almost like you could argue it's like an amalgamation of the original suit and returns, kind of like that armor plating look, but it's got a bit of anatomy now. It's got the classic bat symbol. And yeah, I think overall I like it. The only thing I would argue is that the belt, I would have actually liked to have seen the return of the 89, 92 utility belt, just because I think it would have fit the aesthetic perfectly and would have continued that same thing. But besides that, yeah, I'm a bit of a fan.
I think the belt was fine if they'd just done it in yellow or gold. I think if the
Yeah,
belt
that's
was
fair.
yellow and gold, I think it would have worked, and maybe added a couple of pouches. Made it very much similar to like how the Nolan Bale suit was. They could have done like that. Um, I don't really have a lot to say on it, to be honest with you. It's better than that one. I think it's great? Do I think it's up here? Do I don't? I don't know. For me, I think what upset me a little bit was I saw the concept art of them putting Keaton with the Flash, and then some shots quickly it looked like the return suit, and I was excited to see the return suit again, and then they revealed
Yeah,
more, and it was like, oh, it's different suit, and for me when the movement, it almost bags and ripples slightly, like creases. The suit does in certain shots, like the rubber's really thin, and it just vexes me. And then
I appreciate that.
there's some shots it looks great. It looks like a Michael Keaton when it's straight on and he's just there. But it's movement and stuff, and like I admire that they made Keaton's Batman a bit more versatile fighter as opposed to just he had his hands up here but his feet, and it was just there because obviously lack of movement. I appreciate that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's something that just bugs me about the suits there. I think it was just I just think it was a film entirely. I don't think it did really well. Um, but I'm gonna. Where would you think, Gary, this deserves to sit?
Because I would be honest and say that although I like the suit and the thought to cross my mind about doing it, it's not the top choice for me. I'd be happy settling for a C for this one,
That's
just
fair.
because it's not the most it's not like the top suit. I like it enough, but I appreciate it's not in your favorite book. So yeah, if you're happy with the C,
It doesn't deserve here. It Doesn't deserve here, in my opinion. I think C's a fair shout. It's sort of middle of the table. It's S tier going to be something special and inspires. Don't think it is. Does it beat the original Michael Keaton stuff? No, it doesn't. Does it beat these? It could go there, but I think these have narrative to them. I think
Yeah,
that's why they
I
work.
agree.
Whereas these were sort of like, I don't think these were terrible. I think these were reflective at the time. I know they get a bit controversial, but I think we're all past it now. Do you know what? I'll be favourable. I'll be favourable because I know you like it as well. I think B. I think let's take it off the bat nipple, the controversial bat nipple area, and put it on a B there. B there. I reckon. I think we do. I do.
God bless you.
Maybe what we do is we drop that to a C. Maybe we move Lewis to a C there. Yeah, I
Fair,
think that's
fair.
fair. I think that's fair. So the next one for me was a movie, not a movie, not even a movie. It was a suit that most people probably forgot about. It came out last year. It was a part of an advert, the State Farm advert, and that is the State Farm Batsuit, which is an amalgamation of different things. Like they grabbed this from it was like a movie, wasn't it? A different movie. The cows.
Yeah,
I kind of like the cowl. I'm sorry, but this cowl
looks
is
good.
it's something about it. It's very like almost like 80s Neil Adams style.
Yeah,
The gloves aren't great. Don't get me wrong. The shins aren't great, but like an advert did this. An advert did this, and yet we were subjected to pieces of
go on.
shit that now sit on the F tier, and yet an advert did that.
Yeah,
I just pieces of shit.
it's a nice suit. When you see it, it's like, wow, that drew attention. That actually got, a lot of people talking, and I really like that. I like you. I like the suit. I think it blends well with itself, and the fact that yeah, the bodysuit is actually from something else, and they've doctored it to look that like a bat suit. I think it's really nice. I would really like, if you threw that in front of me and said, "Do you want to wear that?" I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
I'd have no qualms with it. Do I think it's great? No, I don't think it's great. I think it's reflective of an advert. And I think when you look at it, you go, yeah, it's Batman. That looks like Batman. It's only the same way as like it's only the same way as people would like wear hockey pads as bat armor, and then they add a cowl and put an emblem on the front of it. Like they've done the best they can with what they've got, and it still looks realistically as Batman. It's not an F tier. I think it would be a little bit harsh, but it's D tier. I think this is a C. I think this is truly a C tier. I think this is sort of sits in the range, middle of it, and it just, yeah, it's reflective of it really. For me, I think that's fair. I think that's how this is how I would frame it. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
There's not really much more to add to that, really, Gary. Is there? I think I've enjoyed talking about this with you. I'll be honest with you. It's
No,
we've both stimmed at times.
yeah.
Subject of Batman will always give stim. But yeah, I think we've chose right. I think we've definitely chose right here. I think we're having like Adam West, Keaton, Bales, like sort of like the sort of revolutionary run, the Ben Affleck and the Patterson being S tier, and then A tiers. I would definitely go with the Returns, the Panther, the Begin suit. Even though I personally think Begin suit is better than the there, but neither here nor there. And then the downgrade is sort of Dawn of Justice is right. I think these are all correct. I think these are all really reflective in my opinion, and I think most people would agree. Some may disagree with the Patterson suit being put in an A, but I just think these all represent clinical points in the history as well. I think for Batman.
Yeah, they are significant with when they appeared, and I think that the general outlay of what we've put there is very good interpretation of what we sort of generally, with a few differences, accept. But yeah, I think it's a good overview of the popularity of each Batsuit. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the fact that we've been able to sit here and talk about the wonderful thing that is, well, essentially what brought us together. So fair
Yeah,
play.
and I think for me the I think it's a subject that made us close because of over the years. Obviously, we've known each other 16 years now, and it's brought together a lot of friendships. Talking about Batsuits controversially, and you know, discussing and debating, but also making them as well and sharing ideas. So for me, I think it's a fantastic subject we've talked about. I'd like to talk about more of these there. I'm looking forward to our next episode. We haven't yet decided it yet. We decided these episodes are pretty much on a whim. But thank you for watching, though. I think it's best to wrap up here. I think we end on a high. I've been your host, John, Multiverse Geek Man, and my co-host Gary, Cosplay Gaz on Instagram. Hopefully, you can tune in at the next episode where we talk about some mad nerdy shit, or Nerdy Dad's Debrief as we call it. Yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye now.
Bye.